So very good evening boys and girls, and welcome to another video. Now in my last one I was left a comment basically just asking how I remove horizons from my photographs. So here we are. I've decided I'm going to show you. Now I accept there will be other people out there that do this slightly differently, and that's okay. That's horses for courses, but this is just a quick, simple and easy way that I remove horizons from photographs in Lightroom. So let's jump on the computer and I'll show you how I do it. So here we are. So this is a photograph of Baitson Rock up in Scotland, and this is straight out of camera. This is what the photograph looked like. As taken, and you can see there's a horizon line there, a couple of rocks either side, and well, to be fair, if you throw a preset on and whack a colour balance on there, yeah, there was something quite reasonable looking, but that's not what we're going for. So let's reset this and let's remove that horizon line and hopefully end up with a really minimalistic looking photograph. So for this we're going to do black and white, so let's click the black and white conversion tool up in the corner and let's just straighten that horizon, because wonky horizons are a massive bugbear of mine. There we go, that looks okay, a little bit straighter. So first things first, we're going to remove these rocks down here because I don't want them in the foreground. So let's go over to the remove tool, it's called these days. Remove, and just draw around them. Hopefully this will remove them using AI. Let's have a look. So squiggle, 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 and remove. So it's left a little bit of wonkiness down there, so we'll just remove that little bit as well. And there we go. So first things first, I want to address the subject. So this is Baitson Rock. So you can see we've already got a very minimal photograph, a lot of negative space around our subject. So let's just make it pop. So we're going to go to masking, select the subject, and this should draw a really nice selection around it in red. And there we go. So raise the exposure a little bit, add a little bit of contrast in there, raise them shadows for some rock detail. There we go. Maybe if we drop the blacks down a little bit, and let's go throw some texture on it. So there we go. So there's the subject. See, it's kind of popped a little bit more than it was earlier on. So let's start removing this horizon line. So first thing I do is go to masks and we grab a big radial filter and switch that right over the horizon line like so. Let's just zoom out a little bit further. There we go, so radial filter. Now we can see that the radial filter has also covered the subject, and well, we don't really want that because we don't want to remove the rock. So we'll go to subtract, select subject, and there we go. That has removed Baitson Rock from the selection. So the next thing that I do is scroll all the way down to texture, clarity, and dehaze. So the first thing we're going to do is throw some texture off it, so you can see, especially over this side, it's just starting to smudge things in a little bit, and do the same with clarity. You see we're really starting to get a smudge now, and as soon as we add some negative dehaze, let's have a look. There we go, the horizon, maybe a little bit over there, but we can deal with that. Let's maybe not go quite so aggressive on that. There we go. So, as you can see now, if we fit this, see the horizon line's almost gone. You can see it a little bit down there, it's a little bit darker, but certainly over this side of the photograph, the horizon is all but gone. So next thing, we go to the remove tool again, and I'm going to draw a line right across that horizon line there, and just stopping at Baitson Rock there. And then we go to remove, and let's have a look. So if we cycle through them, you get three options here, so you'll be able to see over here as I go through them. So that's number 1, number 2, number 3. Yeah, not quite a lot of difference between all three of them, but hopefully that's gone a little bit more. So you can see there is still some horizon there, so what we're going to do is a repeat of the first process. I'm going to grab a radial gradient. This time I'm just going to focus over this part of the photograph. So right over that line where it was. Again, we're going to subtract the subject, which is Baitson Rock, which should get rid of this part here, which it has. And once again, down to a little bit of dehaze, clarity, texture right the way down, dehaze all the way down. There we go. There we go. So it's starting to disappear now. Let's just have a look, see if we can't make this a little bit fatter. There we go. Well, we can still see that, but don't worry, because we're now going to grab another gradient. So we're going to go for a linear gradient this time, and we're going to drag down from the top like so. And once again, I guess you could guess this, but we're going to subtract the subject. And let's try raising the exposure on this time and see what that gets us. There we go, a little bit like that. And let's just whack these down just for good measure, just in case there was anything texture-wise in the sky. So as far as I can see, my eyes are a little bit tired, but that horizon line now, which used to be about there, well, it's all but gone. So now we've got a very, it's a bit harsh up top, isn't it? So I'm going to throw a little bit of interest in this photograph now. So I'm going to go back to the linear gradient and drag up from the other end and basically have that gradient meeting basically where the other one finished. And we're going to go the other way this time. We're going to drop the exposure down a little bit. Oops, I forgot to remove the subject. Not a problem, because we can go back and add that in again. There we go. So now we've got something with a missing horizon line. It looks a little bit white at the top though, doesn't it? So let's just see if dropping the exposure of the entire image. Ooh, have I just done something wrong? Z. Let's just reset that. There we go. Let's try dropping the exposure down on the entire image. Now that brings in something. Let's have a look. There we go. So if we go back to our subject mask once again and raise the exposure on that, raise the shadow a little bit more. There we go. Well, if I'm starting to see a little bit of that horizon line reappear in that corner, let's have a look. There we go, that's gone now. And last but not least, I like to throw another radial gradient right over the middle of the image. Why has it done that? There we go, it's back. Let's just make that a little bit smaller. I basically want this grad just to cover the subject. Move over that. There we go. So there we go. So there's a radial gradient right of the subject. So I'm going to right click and press invert, which you'll see goes all the way around the other side. Now let's just adjust this a little bit and play with the feathering a bit. And we're just going to drop that exposure a little tiny bit there. And there we go. So that is basically how I remove horizons and create something quite minimalistic. Now this may not be to everybody's taste, but this is how I do it. It's something that I'm fairly new at, and I'm sure over time a little bit more practice and I'll be able to perfect this a little bit more. But there's a photograph. So there we go. I hope that quick and easy little tutorial was just enough to show you how I remove horizons. I'm hoping it's something that you can put into practice in your own photographs as well. I tried to keep it as simple as possible using a very easy photograph just to demonstrate this with. So thank you very much for watching. If you did enjoy the video, please do give it a thumbs up and a like. It does help the channel and it helps new viewers to see my content. And if you liked it a little bit more than that, you can always hit the subscribe button down below and you'll see more Micro Four Thirds nonsense from myself every single week. So until the next time, I'm going to love you and leave you and just say peace and goodbye.